Men's baseball started off their season in fantastic fashion. Men's basketball, however, has fallen back into their old struggles after their first conference victory, and National Signing Day saw football score a good class for the future. Hey Coug fans, I'm Ashley Moore, and this is In the Game. New head coach Tom Herman was able to sign 21 recruits to his first recruiting class at the University of Houston. This class has a strong Texas focus, with 16 recruits staying in-state to compete for the Cougars, 3 recruits from Louisiana, and 1 recruit from both Mississippi and Wisconsin. The class is composed of 18 incoming freshmen, as well as 2 juniors and 1 senior transfer. Of the recruit, 12 are on the offensive end and 8 are on the defensive end, and 1 is listed as an athlete. Our own reporter, Randall Odette, went out to TDECU Stadium to cover the National Signing Day press conference.
Hey Cougs fans, this is In the Game and you're here with Randall Odette. We're live at National Signing Day for the Houston Cougars. It's a great day for Tom Herman as he welcomes in his first overall recruiting class. Should hopefully start an exciting future for the Houston Cougars.
Houston was able to sign 4-star recruit Tyreek Gray, who could potentially see playing time his first season. Gray, who ranks on the ESPN 300 list, was the number 22 running back overall in the nation this season.
They're all winners. We had 7 state champions, 13 first-team all-conference, a couple all-state guys that really know how to win. I think the combined record of this class was 149 and 80 or something like that. So they were winners both on and off the field, and then they were guys that wanted to be Cougars.
Tom Herman mentioned in the press conference that he felt that he didn't have a sufficient enough time to find a true freshman quarterback that he wanted to bring into the signing class. On the other hand, Herman was able to lure in Utah transfer Adam Schultz, who will be a senior this upcoming fall and looks to compete for the starting position against Greg Ward.
Thanks, Randall. This class fills a lot of the need for the University of Houston. The linebacker core looks to be heartily recharging, with 5 incoming members replacing impactful players like Derek Matthews. The offensive line adds 5 members as well to help make up for some of the outgoing talent along the line. Tight ends and wide receivers also receive some much-needed assistance, adding 3 members to each of those groups. Others receiving new members include running backs, defensive ends, defensive linemen, quarterbacks, and an athlete. One soon-to-be Houston alum is garnering some much-deserved notoriety. Joey Mbu, Houston's standout defensive tackle, was named to the American Athletic Conference first team, as well as the Reese's Senior Bowl. Adding to that, Mbu was invited to participate in the 2015 NFL Combine, giving the University of Houston a representative for the 2nd year in a row, after Richie Leon was invited last year. In his career, Mbu started 34 games for the Cougars and competed in 50 career games. This season alone, Mbu had 32 tackles, 4.5 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks, 4 pass breakups, and 1 interception. For his career, Mbu had 92 tackles, 10.5 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 8 pass breakups, and 2 interceptions. Mbu was one of the team captains on the Cougars football team and was one of the 21 only defensive tackles invited to the Combine. You can see Mbu going through his drills on February 22nd on the NFL Network. Finally, Houston football and Coach Tom Herman have now rounded out the staff for the coming season as Derek Wehrmeyer was hired as the Cougars offensive line coach. Prior to UH, Wehrmeyer spent 3 seasons at New Mexico as their tight ends coach, while also being their run game coordinator in the 2014 season. In his 3 seasons with the New Mexico Lobos, they registered 5th or better nationally in rushing every season. In 2014, the Lobos ranked 4th in rushing yards at almost 311 yards per game and 4th in sacks, given up with just 11 surrendered all season. Wehrmeyer is the last member to join Herman's staff. Other members include Major Applewhite, former University of Texas assistant head coach and co-offensive coordinator. Prior to that, Applewhite worked at both Alabama and Rice as offensive coordinator. He joins UH at the same position as well as being the quarterback's coach. Todd Orlando joins Houston as the defensive coordinator and linebackers coach. Orlando spent the previous season at Utah State, and before that with programs like Florida International and UConn in the same position. Craig Navar joins as an associate head coach, co-defensive coordinator, and safeties coach. Herman and his new staff will be looking to make a big splash with the University of Houston Cougars as they enter into their third season in the American Athletic Conference in this fall semester. On the court, men's basketball is entering the home stretch of their season, with just 6 games left in the regular season. Houston currently sits at 9-15 overall and 1-11 in conference play. After notching back-to-back wins against Rice and UConn, and a loss to conference leader Tulsa, the Cougs faced an in-state rival, SMU, on their home court. Our reporter Bryce Stodds has a recap of all the action.
On last Thursday night, Houston played host to the 25th-ranked SMU Mustangs, an in-state rival. Coach Larry Brown had the Mustangs in top form, but the Cougars were looking to pull the upset. In the first half, Houston shot 35.7% overall from the field and shot only 22.2% on 4 of 8 shooting from 3. SMU, on the other hand, shot 50% from the field on 28 shots. SMU carried the lead into the break, 33-27. During halftime, Coach Tom Herman and the men's football team took to the court to talk to the Cougar faithful. The team was honored for their victory in the Armed Forces Bowl, and Coach Herman spoke on the future of the program. Following the break, Houston fell behind by as much as 17 points late in the game. They pulled in close, but never could regain the lead. SMU would hold on to win, 75-69. For the game, SMU shot 53.7% from the field and 50% from 3, with only 8 shots taken from behind the arc. SMU didn't shoot well from the free throw line, only 13 of 24, but it was enough to overcome the Cougars. UH shot just 40.7% from the field and 32.4% from 3, going 11 of 34. Gerard Stiggers led the Cougars with 17 points and 5 threes made, while LaRon Barnes achieved his second career double-double with 14 points and 10 rebounds. After the game, Coach Sampson spoke to the media about the close loss. "I told our guys, hey, knock down some open shots. We got a lot of good looks. We had some tough luck too," said Sampson. "LJ makes a 3 and they call a foul on Devontae. They scored on the last possession of the first half. So at halftime, the game could have been tied. We battled through some tough breaks." Coach Sampson also talked about LaRon Barnes and his record game. "LaRon Barnes might not have been the best player on the floor tonight, but I thought he was absolutely the toughest player," Sampson said. "He's a tough kid and he is a winner." When asked about the resilience of the team, Sampson spoke nothing but praises about his guys, but acknowledged that there are still some areas of struggle for the Cougs. "The biggest thing we fight is just our size. A team like SMU just takes advantage of our weakness," Sampson said. "I thought our kids defended, but they made a lot of tough shots. We got them deep into the shot clock, and then we came out of the possession with nothing to show for it. We're getting better, and I can tell. People from afar, unfortunately, you get judged by your record, and that's about it. But I also know what we're building here, and I know where this program is going to be in a year or so. I really, really appreciate these kids. I do. I love this team. I love their effort. I love their attitude. I love how they work in practice every day. We have some deficiencies there's not a lot we can do about. There's a lot of life lessons being learned and a lot of growing being made, so I'm happy with them." For In the Game, I'm Bryce Stodds.
Thanks, Bryce. It sounds like Coach Sampson is really focusing on the bright spots, even in the aftermath of a disheartening loss. Houston then headed out for a 2-game road swing in Florida. On Sunday night, they faced UCF, who overcame the Cougs in the last matchup thanks to an overtime buzzer beater. This time, it was much of the same for the Cougars. Houston took a 33-32 lead into the half, but thanks to a B.J. Taylor layup with just 2.8 seconds left, the Knights were able to again snatch victory from the Cougars. Devontae Pollard led all Cougars with 14 points and 7 rebounds in just 30 minutes of play. Gerard Stiggers, however, did not play after an undisclosed team violation. Finally, on the diamond, men's baseball opened up their season with a 3-game homestand against Minnesota. On Friday night, Houston debuted with Andrew Lantrip on the mound. The Cougs kicked off to an early offensive start, scoring 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning, and never looking back. Altogether, Houston combined for 10 hits, 3 of which were home runs, and scored 9 runs on the evening. On Saturday afternoon, Jake Lemoyne took the mound for the Cougs. Lemoyne and reliever Steph Romero combined for a complete game shutout. The Cougs had another good offensive game. Chris Ariart went 1 of 4 and notched his 2nd home run of the season and an RBI. The Cougs would win the game 5-0, clinching the series, while heading into Sunday looking for a series sweep. On Sunday afternoon, the Golden Gophers put up a much tougher fight, keeping close with Houston for all 9 innings. The Cougars fell behind as many as 3 runs, but Houston battled back to tie up the game. Houston entered the bottom of the 9th with the game tied up. With all bases loaded, freshman Connor Wong came to the plate and scored the game-winning RBI with a fielder's choice down the third baseline. Aaron Garza went 5 innings and surrendered 3 earned runs on 5 hits. Next up, Houston faces off against Alabama in a 3-game series from the 20th to the 22nd at Cougar Field. And men's hoops is home again on the 21st to take on the Cincinnati Bearcats. Make sure you go out and support your Cougs. And for all things UH sports, make sure to keep up with us. You can find us online at facebook.com/inthegame or on Twitter at twitter.com/inthegame_UH. You can also watch our episodes Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. on Channel 6. And if you missed them live, you can watch them on CougTV.com. I'm Ashley Moore reminding you, don't just sit there, get in the game.